Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tuesday, October 20th, 5:30. The emergency meeting is here to hire an interim town manager. I think at this point, then, you want this in executive session? Yeah? Motion to go in executive session under title of contract and salaries. Okay, under appointments on the case. The 404A.
405, 6A. 405, 6A.
6A.
It's on the.
Motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Made by Don, seconded.
Second.
All in favor? We'll be in executive session shortly, folks. Motion to come out of executive session. Moved by Mike, second. By Gary. All in favor? Okay, any motions?
I'll make a motion, we hire then at 300 a week as interim town manager,
Acting town.
acting town manager.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mike. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Hey, I won't accept the job. Can't have unanimous vote, so we'll have to find somebody else. Sorry. That's what I said, it had to be unanimous or I wouldn't do it. Why would I stick my feet in a 3-2 vote? Find somebody else.
So, well, the motion stands, you guys, motion stands, 3-2. That's all I can say.
Sorry.
You won't accept it temporarily till, no.
Now getting involved in a 3-2 vote.
Well, there's not much we can do other than, you know, if you don't, it was 3-2.
It is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll have to find somebody else then if we don't. Depends how the meeting comes out here tonight, we'll have to find
The
somebody.
one item there, the permission for Bob to sign the CO on that amendment change for housing grant. I can't sign my own work.
Well, he said he can't take it up in an emergency meeting because this is a special meeting, so we can't take that up now.
Okay.
So you have to, how quick does that have to be signed?
Anytime.
Yeah, okay.
Is Tuesday soon enough for that then?
Pardon?
Is Tuesday soon enough for this?
Have to be,
We got a meeting
have to be,
It'll have to be, yeah.
have to be. Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
Okay, this hearing is closed, this meeting, this emergency meeting is closed, adjourned, and we will wait till 6 o'clock for the public hearing.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to adjourn this emergency meeting.
That's item 3.
No, that's, we've already been through that. First meeting can have more than one thing highlighted there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I know, this is special.
Shows a meeting at 5:30, but meeting first at 4 o'clock.
Right.
I'll put that for information. I should have wrote info on it, that was my first agenda, so I figured out I should have wrote info.
Anyway, I've got a motion on the floor for to adjourn this meeting.
Let's say anyone.
All in favor? Motion carries. Call this meeting to order, this hearing to order. This hearing here, we're here this evening. Subject matter of the town manager. The town manager has been removed and subject to a hearing, which he is entitled to have an attorney and witnesses. Your witnesses, I don't know, did he?
He's got his client, it was his sole witness.
His sole witness is his client? Okay, good. That's the only witness that you have?
That's right.
And for the
To
record?
the extent we put on testimony,
Okay,
it would be my client.
okay. And your name, sir, is?
My name is Thad Smostowski. I'm an attorney at Eaton Peabody in Bangor, and I represent my client, Randy Cannon, whose status I need to find out before we start. I need to understand before we start, and this is a question. My understanding is that my client was terminated on September 22nd by a motion by a Mike to terminate the town manager immediately for insubordination and for walking out on a councilors meeting. Second by Don, 3 in favor, 2 opposed. Alaire and Gary, motion carried. So I need to understand what this hearing is. And I need to understand before it starts what my client's status is. If my client has in fact been terminated, then there's no, obviously, reason to have a hearing tonight. Because the statutory procedure has to begin with a resolution, a preliminary resolution. And only then can, after the entire statutory process goes forward, can there be a termination decision. But you guys have started with termination. And the only thing on the record that I see is this vote. I don't see any vote where it's ever been rescinded. So as it is right now, by the official record, my client is not the town manager of Van Buren. So the first thing I need to understand before I can represent my client at this hearing is to understand his status. Number one, is he or is he not the town manager of Van Buren right now, this moment, which is 6:04?
He is getting, your client is getting paid as town manager for the town of Van Buren. He's been on his payroll, on our payroll, up until this evening right now. And
Okay,
if
so
he's-
he is the town manager.
He is still the town manager.
So are you gonna rescind that vote?
Rescind what vote?
The vote that terminated
We-
him on September
A
22nd.
resolution was filed in accordance with state law. It was given to the,
If you look at the
So
back of
is
the
the-
termination paper, it says right here the procedure that was followed. And it was followed that he has a free hearing, he has so many days to require such hearing. Did you get that, or is it?
Well, I see your resolution, so is it your position then that the September 22nd vote is invalid?
It's our position that he has been removed, he's been underpaid as town manager for the town of Van Buren ever since that we, Mike made the motion for termination. It was termination with hearing.
So
He-
termination with,
No,
what is that?
I meant he was terminated pending a hearing, and at which time he would either be reinstated or terminated.
So in your understanding then, my client has been terminated?
No, your client this evening has not been terminated.
It's an issue of semantics. They resolved to remove him. They used the word termination, but they resolved to remove him. And he's been given his right to a hearing, which is being heard tonight.
So what you're telling me is you're not gonna rescind the September 22nd vote, you consider it valid, and you consider him removed, but not terminated?
well, yeah, he was removed from office. The word termination was used. Perhaps a different word, resolution should have been used instead, until the resolution was, came upon us, which is, now tonight. And he's been cashing the checks as town manager, so I think he accepted the fact that he was still town manager, or he wouldn't have accepted those checks.
Okay, but I need to understand the process. All right, so he was voted to be terminated, but what you're saying is he was really removed pending a hearing. And then the resolution that you served him with wasn't until some days after you had already voted to terminate, correct?
Right, and he has 10 days like the law provides for.
Okay. So then there is a reason to have this hearing because you consider this to be the statutory hearing.
Yes.
Oh, so as I shared with your counsel that I
Before
have.
we go further, we introduce our attorney.
Oh,
please?
sure,
Yeah,
sorry.
And before we go any further,
Yeah.
this is our town attorney, this is Chris Ledger, and he's our attorney for the town. And the council members here, I think you're all familiar with, Mr. Dumo, Gary Levac, Alaire